A little while ago, I discovered the truth about practice, and let's say practice on the guitar. So I'm just going to throw it out, although I don't think I can show you a way because I don't think that's how this works. But practice is talked about in so many different ways, and it can have so many different forms of value for your playing. But one of the things that I have learned is that if you can put something under the right umbrella, if you can get your priorities more in order, if you figure out the God that you serve, everything else falls into place because you can't serve two gods. You can't have two things be the most important thing. And for many things, they will never be understood or discovered or maybe just fall into place if they do not know how they need to be oriented. So, in that way, in terms of a functional, overarching theme, what I have learned about practice is that it is only a blessing. This is not some ethereal, feel good type of thing to make you feel good about your work. It has a direct functional benefit to any type of work that you do, if this is something that you believe or something that you want to work towards. But right after I found this, I discovered I was in a very difficult spot. When I learn something that's very beneficial for me, usually the next thing I think is, oh, I want to share this with other people. I like to help people. Maybe it will be beneficial for them, okay? But what I realized is that in order for people to discover this almost secret aspect about the most important thing about practice, they would have to go through some of the things that I've gone through, maybe more. These haven't been good things. They haven't been successes. They haven't been victories, sprinkled with accolades and praise. They've been the hardest things I've ever been through in my life. They're things that I wouldn't wish on anyone. These same people that I want to share this with, I care about them. I would never say, well, you need to go through these types of things to understand the truth about practice. No, I would say my natural instinct is to, if I can protect people from those things, I would. But in my life, these are the kind of things that had to happen in order for me to discover that practice is merely a blessing. And it stands to reason that most people would have to go through at least some of these things, maybe more, than I have been through in order to arrive at a conclusion like this. So I can't show a way, and I can't say, oh, well, this works for me, it needs to work for you too. What I can do is throw it out there. As a teacher, as someone that works with people, oftentimes that's all you can do. It's one thing to desire to learn from someone. It's a different thing to be in the right place at the right time with the right abilities, both with your playing and with your mindset. And I can remember in my life, when I got to the man that I call my teacher, it took me about a year and a half before I began to develop the desire to learn from him, before I began to see how valuable what he said was. But it doesn't mean, and it didn't mean that I was ready. That still to this day sometimes takes time because I still find myself learning from things that he said like a decade ago because I wasn't ready back then. But you can't give someone else the answer to some big complicated problem. But what you can do is throw it out there and say, if this sounds like it might be a thing, if it sounds like it might be a way, then it is possible for you to find your way to it. If it sounds like nothing, then don't worry about it. You'll just forget it. But the truth about practicing the guitar is it is only a blessing. And every bit that you can wrap your mind around that, it will have beneficial results. It doesn't matter if you're learning a piece, if you're working on so-called technique, if you're performing, whatever the case may be. And in my life, it has allowed me to find things that I would never have found otherwise.